So take a look at this. This is one of the most powerful and complex machines on the entire planet, the U.S. Navy's amphibious assault ship. It's part floating fortress, part mobile city, and part launch pad for an army, all rolled into one incredible package. Today, we're going to tear this thing down and show you exactly how it all works. I mean, just think about the fundamental problem here. How do you move an entire army across a vast ocean and then land them on a potentially hostile shore? It's got to be one of the most difficult military operations you can imagine. This isn't just about giving troops a ride. It's about deploying thousands of soldiers, armored vehicles, and aircraft, all as one coordinated fighting force. And the answer is this incredible blend of engineering and raw power. So before we even get into the jets and the landing craft, let's start with the ship itself. You know, the best way to really wrap your head around the scale of this thing is to stop thinking of it as a boat and start thinking of it as a fully functioning, self-contained city floating at sea. To get a sense of that scale, just look at the population. These ships are home to about 1,000 crew members who are responsible for just running the vessel itself. But then you add over 1,600 embarked troops who are ready for deployment. That's more people than live in many small towns, all living and working together in a pretty confined space for months at a time. And as you can probably guess, life on board is incredibly demanding. We're talking 12-hour workdays, constant training drills, and the endless task of maintaining this hugely complex machine. And all of this is happening while you're hundreds of miles from land. It just requires immense discipline to manage the day-to-day routine. But you know, to keep thousands of people functioning at such a high level in a tight space, you need more than just work. So the ship is actually equipped with a pretty surprising range of amenities, all designed to preserve morale. There are multiple gyms, a multimedia center, even arcade machines, and a grocery store. It's all about making the steel giant a livable home. Okay, so now let's get to the ship's core mission. This is where the amphibious part of its name really comes to life. We're heading down to the water level, to what is truly the mechanical heart of this entire operation. This is the well deck, and honestly, it's an engineering marvel that makes everything else possible. You should think of it less like a cargo bay and more like an internal harbor that the ship just carries around with it. This is the key that allows an entire ground force to launch directly into the sea. And the way it works is just brilliant. First, these huge gates at the ship's stern open up to the ocean. Then, the entire well deck, all 13,000 square feet of it, is intentionally flooded with millions of gallons of seawater. And just like that, the vehicles inside, everything from landing craft to assault vehicles, can simply drive out and start their journey to the beach. And there are two main workhorses that launch from here. First up, you have the AAV, the Amphibious Assault Vehicle. It's basically a floating armored transport that can carry 21 Marines from the ship across the water and right on into the beach. And then there's the incredible LCAC hovercraft, which can just glide over the water at super high speeds carrying heavy equipment, like tanks. But how does all that heavy cargo get down to the well deck in the first place? Get this, monorail trains. That's right, there are monorails running through the ship, moving all the supplies and equipment from storage bays down to the well deck at speeds up to 600 feet per minute. It's like a factory assembly line, but it's designed for combat. Okay, so from the water level, let's head all the way up top. We're moving from the Amphibious Heart to the flight deck, and this is without a doubt one of the most dynamic and dangerous workplaces on Earth. The scale of the flight deck is just immense. We're talking about over 2 acres of sovereign American territory. This isn't just a landing strip, it's a mobile airfield that you can park pretty much anywhere in the world's oceans. Now, how do you manage all this controlled chaos? It comes down to a really simple but vital system, a color code. Each jersey color means a critical job. The yellow shirts are the aircraft directors. They're like the conductors orchestrating this whole ballet. Purple handles the fuel, the grapes as they're called. Green manages launch and recovery gear. Red shirts are the ordnance experts and the emergency crash crews. Blue handles moving the planes around, and white are your safety and medical personnel. It's a visual language that's absolutely essential for keeping everyone safe. And the air power this deck supports is just formidable. We're talking over 30 aircraft. It's built around game changers like the F-35B Joint Strike Fighter. Its ability to land vertically means this ship doesn't need the massive catapults you'd see on a supercarrier. It's also home to the MV-22 Osprey, that crazy tilt-rotor aircraft that can take off like a helicopter but fly like a plane, which gives it incredible range and speed for transporting troops. All right, so we've seen the floating city, we've seen the well deck. And we've seen the flight deck. Now, let's connect all those pieces to the ship's ultimate purpose: seamlessly inserting a fighting force from the sea onto land anywhere in the world. And one technique that just perfectly showcases this integration is called fast roping. It's a method for getting troops on the ground from a hovering helicopter very, very quickly. It's high risk, high reward, and it's a staple of special operations. The whole process looks deceptively simple. A thick, weighted rope is just dropped out of the helicopter. The operators, wearing special gloves to prevent burns, just grab on and go. But here's the incredible part. They aren't clipped in. Their grip, using only their hands and feet, is the only thing stopping them from falling. It requires an absolutely extraordinary amount of strength and nerve. And this really brings us to the core takeaway. The ship is so much more than the sum of its parts. It's the combination of that floating city, the amphibious well deck, the mobile airfield, and of course the highly trained crew that makes this whole thing such a powerful and strategic asset. It's truly an incredible synthesis of technology and human effort. But as we look to the future, with the rise of new technologies like drones and long-range missiles, it leaves us with a really critical question to think about. What does the future hold for these massive, powerful, and very visible titans of the sea?